former President Trump, claiming he knows nothing about a 2021 meeting federal prosecutors have on tape. CNN reports that Trump acknowledged in the meeting at his New Jersey golf club he still has a classified Pentagon document about a potential attack plan on Iran. This was his denial last night on Fox.
No, I don't know anything about it. All I know is this. Everything I did was right. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I abided by 100%. It's a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. It's a hoax. And it has to do more than anything else with trying to interfere with the election.
For more on the meeting and the federal investigation, let's turn to CNN's Paula Reed in Washington.
Former President Donald Trump campaigning in Iowa, refusing to take questions on the bombshell revelation he was recorded discussing classified information.
Mr. President, why didn't you take classified documents concerning General...
But continued to claim he's a victim of federal investigators.
I'm a victim of it. They've come after me. They've come after me on many things.
This after CNN's exclusive reporting that prosecutors now have an audio recording of Trump talking about a classified plan to invade Iran while he was at his Bedminster Golf Club months after he left the White House. Among those attending the meeting, several Trump aides and 2 people working on an autobiography for former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. None of them had security clearances. During this time, Trump had aides record his conversation with journalists and writers.
They become automatically declassified when I took them.
Trump, under investigation for his handling of national security secrets, has previously insisted that he declassified any sensitive material in his possession.
If you're the President of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
But sources tell CNN on this recording, Trump claims to still be in possession of a Pentagon document, suggests he would like to share it, and then acknowledges the limits of his ability to declassify it. All of this undercutting his own defense. Asked if he had ever shared any information at CNN's town hall.
Not really. I would have the right to. By the way, they were declassified after.
Not really?
Not that I can think of. Let me just tell you, I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them.
The summer 2021 recording comes out of Trump's New Jersey golf club. It's now the second confirmed state where he has had classified information after the FBI walked out of his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida with boxes of top-secret documents. The Trump campaign saying the DOJ's continued interference in the presidential election is shameful, and this meritless investigation should cease wasting the American taxpayers' money on Democrat political objectives.
When we searched Bedminster, there were no classified documents or marked documents there.
Former Trump lawyer Tim Parlatore, who left Trump's legal team in recent weeks, says the classification status of the document Trump is heard talking about is irrelevant based on the laws that are cited in the search warrant that was executed in summer 2022.
Really, what DOJ is investigating is willful retention of national defense information. Whether it's classified or declassified is not an element of that offense.
Former President Trump's lawyers have asked for a meeting with Attorney General Merrick Garland to express their concerns about the special counsel's investigation. Now, one of Trump's attorneys tells CNN there have been some communications between DOJ and the Trump legal team about the possibility of this meeting, but the fact that there is this recording in the hands of investigators really undercuts their key concern, which is an allegation that this is just a politically motivated investigation. But if they do get this meeting with the Attorney General or some other Justice Department official, they will clearly have much to discuss. Paula Reed, CNN, Washington.
The GOP field of candidates is growing, and it's about to get even bigger. CNN's Jeff Zeleny live in Des Moines, Iowa this morning. Jeff, former President Trump was campaigning in Iowa yesterday and talked about his competitors. How does he see the field?
Hey, good morning, Rahel. The field is getting bigger, and next week alone, 3 Republican candidates are set to join the race. In fact, there are so many alternatives to Donald Trump, it is benefiting one person of all, and that's the former president, which is exactly what he's counting on.
So far, Donald Trump is getting most everything he wanted from the Republican presidential campaign.
There's no way I can lose Iowa. Let's see what happens. I don't think so. We'd have to do some really bad things to lose at this point.
Including a list of rivals that's growing by the week, with the anyone but Trump lane of the race becoming remarkably crowded.
I think it's advantageous to Trump. I don't like that.
Julie Marley is a loyal Republican who came to see Florida Governor Ron DeSantis the other night and is sizing up several contenders. But she offered pointed words of advice for those entering the race.
Stay for a while, see what happens, but then don't stay too long, because we need to beat the Democrats.
As summer approaches, the Republican field is starting to burst at the seams, with former Vice President Mike Pence and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie set to jump in next week, joining former Governor Nikki Haley and Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, who are already in the race. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is also poised to announce next week, and New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu promises a decision soon. And Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is not ruling out a run later this year, if some contenders flame out.
Well, if that many candidates stay in the race, that benefits Trump. Trump will win by the power division. And that's why we'll see if we learned our lesson well.
Bob Vanderplaats, an influential evangelical leader in Iowa, said the party should not repeat the mistakes of 2016, when Trump claimed the nomination with a divided Republican electorate, rather than facing a head-to-head match with one strong opponent.
So my concern is, so how many get in? It's when do they get out? And when do they give America a clear choice between the former president and an alternative?
A big field is precisely what Trump is banking on and basking in, as he shook hands and took questions at a series of small events in Iowa, while making clear he's fixated on one rival above all.
Ron, as I call him, Ron DeSanctimonious.
The former president seized upon a leading argument DeSantis made to voters here this week.
We could bring back George Washington. I don't know that he would be able to get it done in just 4 years.
And sought to mock the Florida governor's pitch that he's eligible for 2 terms, not simply one more like Trump.
You don't need 8 years, you need 6 months. We can turn this thing around so quickly. Who the hell wants to wait 8 years? You don't need 8 years.
And in New Hampshire Thursday, DeSantis hitting back at Trump.
Why didn't he do it his first 4 years?
As the campaign intensifies, signs are emerging that it's far too early to presume it's a two-man contest, as candidates begin blanketing the state that begins the Republican nomination battle early next year. Lori Hartson also believes the field is cluttered. In her mind, it's already a one-man race.
President Trump already made America great. Now we need him back to fix it.
She drove 4 hours to catch a glimpse of the former president outside one of his Iowa stops.
Do you think that others should step aside and let him run and focus on President Biden, or do you think a competitive Republican primary is fine?
I wish they would step aside, but they won't, and I don't know if it's ego. They won't, and more keep coming in. It's like, come on, Mike Pence. Really, Mike, give it up.
So that sentiment, of course, is expressing the challenges facing former Vice President Mike Pence as he announces his bid here in Iowa next week. But there are also many Republicans we've spoken to who welcome his true conservative views, and he also is reaching out to evangelical voters here, of course, very important to this core. So, Rahel, virtually all of the candidates back in Iowa this weekend, with the exception of Donald Trump. They have an event at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. So Republican voters have many options to choose, and that is specifically what worries some of the voters who are looking to turn the page.
Well, Jeff, it's interesting because you say in your piece, you know, it may be too early to say it's a two-man race. Walk us through some of these other candidates, because I think there is this question about, do any of the other candidates have a real shot other than Trump and DeSantis?
Sure, that's what the campaign is all about. And here we're just at the beginning of June. The candidates who are out working, talking to voters, Nikki Haley, for one. She's been having more events here in Iowa, the former South Carolina governor, than virtually any other candidate. She's gaining a bit of traction. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, his name comes up again and again, and he has a lot of money behind his candidacy. He's already running television ads here on the air in Iowa. So, look, this is the season of where voters are shopping, if you will, looking at all these potential candidates. And yes, Trump is leading the race. He is the leading candidate, but he's not the presumptive nominee. It is far too soon to see that. One thing about Iowa, the history of it shows that that frontrunners are often humbled here. Many people who come into Iowa, back in 2008, for example, Rudy Giuliani, he was seen as a frontrunner. Of course, he fizzled. The list of that is long. So the state is known for elevating challengers, humbling frontrunners. We will see what happens this time.
That is a very interesting historical nugget. Jeff Zeleny, thank you.